Chapter 1. 1. Leo's mom is really sick. All she wants is to see him win the championship on TV. It's just a shame he's been training so long and still hasn't had a chance to play, my girlfriend, Chloe, said as she walked up behind me. I was in the middle of a solo scrim when she set a glass of milk on the desk beside me. Leo Chun, Chloe's hand-picked rookie. He was young, arrogant, and prone to letting his emotions screw up his gameplay. He also clung to Chloe like a giant toddler. I didn't like him, and the feeling was mutual, hearing the regret in her voice. I quit the game and looked up at her. So you want to drop out? Hand the championship to him? Chloe flinched. She started tidying my keyboard and mouse, her movements a little too deliberate. You don't have to make it sound so ugly. I just thought he could sub in for you. To grant his mother's wish, my eyes drifted to the glass of milk she'd brought me. What did you put in it? Don't bother lying. Your eyes have been darting toward that glass since you got here. 5 years together. We were soulmates. I could read her every move, every glance. She didn't deny it. Chewing on her lip, she finally said, "It's a memory reversal serum. It'll set your memory back 5 years, to before you ever met me. Don't worry, the effect only lasts a month. If you refuse to drink it, then I think we might have some fundamental differences. We might need to take a break." By the end, it was a threat. My eyes burned. To get me to give up my spot in the tournament, she was willing to blackmail me with our relationship. She'd forgotten that 5 years ago, I was on the verge of becoming the youngest world champion in history. The day before the finals, I had to save her from some creep she'd been sold to by a shady promoter. I got my hand broken in the process and had to withdraw, becoming a coward in everyone's eyes. The organization benched me, nearly kicking me out of the league for good. Back then, she cried a river by my hospital bed, swearing she would get me back to the top. I worked with her, scouting new talent, finding investors. 5 years flew by. With my coaching, the rookies got better every year. This year, we finally had a real shot at the title. And now, she wanted me to hand that hard-earned glory, just within my grasp, over to Leo. We hadn't even hit the 7-year itch, and our love was already gone. Taking a deep breath, I grabbed the glass of milk and chugged it down. I showed her the empty bottom with a bitter smile. Happy now. Chloe's lips trembled. Full of guilt, she wrapped her arms around me. Ethan, as soon as Leo wins, I'll marry you. With me coaching you, you'll win plenty more championships. We had a pact. The day I lifted the championship trophy, we'd go get our marriage license. Now, marriage was just a consolation prize. I was about to push her away when a loud crash came from the doorway. We looked over and saw Leo, his face a mask of shame and fury. His custom keyboard and mouse lay smashed on the floor at his feet. He shot me a defiant glare, then stormed over to the lounge area, grabbed a fruit knife, and held it to his own wrist. He looked at us with a tear-streaked face. Chloe, if you're going to marry Ethan, you don't have to wait until after the championship. I'll just destroy my hands right now and get out of your way. Our teammates, drawn by the commotion, rushed over, begging him to drop the knife. Chloe, who always doted on him, panicked. She let go of me instantly. I'm not going to marry him. You heard wrong. I meant that he's leaving the club today. She pulled a termination contract out of nowhere and threw it at my feet. How many backup plans had she prepared just for Leo? If I hadn't drunk the milk, would this have been her next move? Forcing me out? I watched as she rushed forward, snatched the knife from Leo's hand, and cooed softly. Star, I know you're just upset because of your mom. How about this? I'll move in with you for a while, help you take care of her, okay? Star, that used to be her name for me. 5 years ago, at a qualifying match, neither of us could get tickets. We ended up watching the live stream together on our phones outside the arena. That's how we met. During a break, I played a quick mobile game to kill time. She grabbed my hand, her eyes shining with a fanatic's glow. You're a genius. You shine like a star. Please come to my club. I'll polish you up and show the world how bright you can be. But her eyes shone even brighter. Just as she promised, 3 months later, my skills had me standing on the world stage. Now, she'd even given my nickname to Leo. Right in front of me, she was promising to move into his house. The rest of the team was staring at me, their eyes filled with mockery and amusement. Leo had only been with the team for 6 months, but we were constantly at each other's throats. I'd even gotten into a fist fight with him out of jealousy, which ended with Chloe slapping me and accusing me of bullying the new guy. I tried to explain that Leo had provoked me, telling me that old-timers like me should get out of Chloe's life so he could have her. But she never believed me. My teammates had long been annoyed with my strict training regimen. Now, they were just waiting for the drama, eager to see me lose my cool. 5 years. I had wasted 5 years on these backstabbers. I let out a self-deprecating laugh. I tore the captain's armband, the one Chloe had sewn for me herself, from my sleeve and shoved it into Leo's hand. Coach Davis is right. She was just telling me it's time to leave the team. I won't be coming back. As I raised my arm, the gnarled scar was exposed, a pale centipede crawling across my skin. My pinky finger trembled slightly, even at rest. I'm getting old, washed up. It was time to retire anyway. My teammates looked stunned. Even if they didn't like me, they saw the work I put in. They knew that outside of eating and sleeping, my entire life was training, strategizing, even taking cortisone shots and painkillers just to compete. But I just put on a relaxed smile and turned to leave. Chloe instinctively moved to follow me. Leo clutched the armband, his voice choked with resentment. You can't stand to let him go, can you, Chloe? I'm not as good as him. I haven't been with you as long. I can't be captain. I'm nothing. I might as well just go die with my mom. Chloe froze. She slowly bent down, picked up the termination contract, and held it out to me. What are you talking about? I'm just reminding him to sign it, she said, her voice tight. Then, she leaned in and whispered to me, I know this is hard, but you can see Leo is emotionally unstable. This is for the future of the team. We have to put the team's interests before your own. Once I win the championship, I'll marry you. Just give me 1 month. I took the pen and signed the paper without a second thought. But Chloe, I thought, whether I forget you or not, I've already decided. I don't want you anymore. There is no us anymore. 2. I went home, exhausted. The sight of the lilies, Chloe's favorite, in the entryway and the minimalist, influencer-style decor she loved suddenly felt abrasive. I started taking down our framed photos from the walls, turning the ones on the coffee table face down. Out of sight, out of mind. Didn't she say this was a memory reversal serum? Why wasn't it working yet? A heavy feeling settled in my chest. I opened DoorDash and ordered a ridiculous amount of whiskey. Chloe always said esports pros needed to maintain peak physical condition, so she never let me drink. Tonight, I was finally going to drink my fill. I woke up the next afternoon with a killer hangover. I wish I could wake up, like in the movies, with a clean slate. Unfortunately, it seemed Chloe had bought some cheap knockoff serum. I remembered everything from the past 5 years. The only thing I'd lost was the feeling. There was no emotional connection, like I was watching someone else's life story. Even thinking about Chloe defending Leo, or my own years of obsession with the game, didn't make my heart rate budge. After sitting around for a while, the first person who came to mind was my old college roommate, Mark Peterson. 5 years ago, he'd offered me a job at his family's company, but I'd turned him down to chase the esports dream with Chloe. We drifted apart since then. On impulse, I gave him a call. Marky, my man. Sports bar. Wings are on me. Mark was silent for a good 10 seconds before eagerly agreeing. We decided to meet at the place we used to frequent near UCLA. He hadn't changed a bit. He waved me over, grinning. Look who's been let off his leash. This is a big deal. Today's the World Championship, right? I saw your team heading to the arena. What's the star jungler doing here? I sat down and said casually, not my problem anymore. I got kicked off the team. What? He was floored. When I told him the whole story, he was furious. That woman is a user. I knew she was bad news when she roped you into pro gaming. Everyone knows you poured your heart and soul into building that team. How dare she throw you out like that? I was already over it. I raised my glass. I was planning on retiring soon anyway. Cheers. Today, the tremor in my hand was worse. Some of the beer sloshed out of the glass. Seeing this, Mark's imagination must have run wild. He clapped a hand on my shoulder, his face full of sympathy. Ethan, you were the top of our class, man. The professor's favorite. Come work with me. We'll start a new venture. I'll give you a 30% stake. It's only a 7-figure salary for now, but once we get it off the ground, it'll be way better than gaming. Honestly, that was part of the reason I called him. My old mentors and colleagues all thought I'd throw my life away and cut ties with me. Now, I want a fresh start in the field I was actually passionate about, finance. While we were eating, my phone buzzed. It was Chloe. The contact name, my wife, Felt like a bad joke. My hands were greasy, so Mark quickly hit answer and mouthed at me. Let's see what she wants. Chloe's voice was sharp. Ethan, where are you? The match is about to start. Why aren't you here? Just then, the waiter brought over our food. Hey guys, here are your loaded nachos. Careful, the plate's hot. I smiled and took the plate. Chloe's voice exploded from a phone. You're out eating junk food. I told you, pro players can't eat that kind of garbage. Ethan, why are you so stubborn? I was speechless. Did she drink a memory reversal serum? She kicked me off the team yesterday, and today she's forgotten. After a beat, I asked, who is this? Why are you saved as my wife in my phone? And what's this about esports? I'm in finance. The line went silent. In the background, I could hear Leo muttering, Chloe, did you forget? I'm subbing in for Ethan for the whole tournament. He's already gone. Chloe seemed to remember. She stammered, oh, sorry. I must have a wrong number. Then she hung up. I smirked. Perfect, Chloe. Let's just pretend we don't know each other. From now on, we're strangers. I looked up to see Mark giving me 2 thumbs up. Dude, faking amnesia. That's brilliant. A perfect way to dump that snake and make her regret everything. I just smiled and stuffed a nacho in my mouth. The clock hit 6 p.m. The highly anticipated Aegis World Championship was starting. Since it was being held on home soil this year, the hype was massive and even casual viewers were tuning in. The bar owner switched the big screen TV on the wall to the live broadcast. I watched as the camera panned to Chloe and Leo. She was gently massaging his hands, her eyes filled with the same adoration and obsession she once had for me, whispering instructions. I couldn't hear the words, but I knew what she was saying. Don't press the keys too hard. You don't want to injure your hands. After I broke my hand, she became even more protective of it than I was. She'd learned hand massage techniques from a physical therapist and would strictly limit my practice time, terrified I'd overdo it. But ever since Leo showed up, she'd push me to scrim with him for hours on end, making me perfect his jungle routes even when my hand was wrapped in bandages. Now, that gentle gaze belonged only to Leo. A reporter was interviewing her. Why isn't Ethan Hayes in the starting lineup? Isn't he the core of your team? Chloe replied, he's dealing with some mental health issues and isn't fit to compete. At the table next to us, a guy suddenly cursed and slammed his fork down. Ethan choked again, the world's biggest coward. I was actually starting to respect him after he worked so hard these last few years. I thought he was going to win back the title for us, but now that we finally have a shot, he gets scared and runs. His friends nodded in agreement. Mental health issues? Bullshit. Just say you're a coward, making a rookie carry the team. A gutless wonder like him isn't even fit to shine the kid's shoes. Mark clenched his fists and started to get up, but I pulled him back down, telling him not to make a scene. But then one of the guys at the next table recognized me. He was probably drunk. He kicked our table over. So you're Ethan Hayes. The World Championship has started, and you've got time to sit here, stuffing your face. Before I could react, he yanked my chair out from under me. I fell to the floor in a heap, and my scarred hand was exposed. The guy looked at me with even more contempt and spat on the ground. You treat that little scratch like your hand's been cut off, using it as an excuse for everything. You have no competitive spirit. It would have been better if you'd gotten hit by a car on your way to the arena than to just abandon your team. That was too much. His friends' faces paled. They quickly apologized and dragged him away. I sat there for a long time before slowly getting up. I turned down Mark's offer to drive me home and walked back alone. Chloe's words echoed in my head. She knew that her flimsy excuse would unleash a torrent of hate against me online. But to make Leo look better, she said it without a second thought. For the first time, I felt a profound sense of regret. If I could do it all over again, I would have walked right past her that day without a second glance. But it wasn't too late. It was time to get my life back on track. I got right to it. I gathered up everything of Chloe's in the apartment and shoved it all into the storage closet to avoid any drama later. The gaming room became a home office. I listed all my pro-grade equipment online for cheap, severing the last tie between us. Looking at the apartment, which now felt half empty, I felt a deep sense of satisfaction. After that, I changed the passcode on the front door, blocked Chloe and Leo on everything, and fully committed to my role as an amnesiac. I started my new job at Mark's company. A month went by without me even noticing. Chloe's team ended up winning the championship in a grueling final match. A photo of Leo, on one knee, presenting the trophy to Chloe went viral. Posters of it were plastered all over the city. It was a Saturday, and I was planning on sleeping in. But the keypad on my door started beeping repeatedly with incorrect password attempts until it finally locked itself. An angry pounding started on the door. "Ethan, are you in there?" I frowned, got up, and threw on some clothes. When I opened the door, I saw Chloe. The moment she saw me, most of the anger vanished from her face, replaced by a smile. "Ethan, I'm back." Behind her, Leo stood beaming, holding the championship trophy and a bouquet of flowers. "Ethan, I won. I came to let you share in the glory." Chloe tried to push past me into the apartment, but I blocked the doorway with my leg. "Who are you?" Chloe froze for a second, then laughed and playfully punched my shoulder. "Oh, come on, you big drama queen. It's been a month. You can drop the amnesia act. You even blocked me and changed the door code? That's so childish." Then, as if sharing a secret, she pulled out a contract. "I was wrong to make you sign that termination agreement. I got approval to raise your salary to 8 figures. You're not mad anymore, right?" Leo's face twisted with jealousy. "Yeah," he said through gritted teeth. "Chloe's got a big heart. She took great care of my mom, and she even said you deserve some of the credit. She wants to hire you back as my personal coach." His pathetic attempt at a taunt didn't even register. Thanks to my complete emotional disconnect, playing a stranger was second nature. I slapped the contract out of her hand. "You have the wrong person," I said, my voice flat with annoyance. "I don't know you." I tried to shut the door, but Chloe jammed her hand in the frame, crying out in pain. I instinctively let go, and they slipped inside. They stopped dead. The apartment was spotless, completely redecorated. There wasn't a single trace that anyone else had ever lived here. Chloe couldn't believe her eyes. The anger on her face froze, replaced by disbelief. "Ethan, where are my things?" I frowned, then pretended like a light bulb went off. "Oh, you must be the girlfriend my friend told me about, right? Your stuff is over here. You should probably take it with you." I opened the storage closet door. It was packed so tight that things immediately started tumbling out. The custom Galaxy print mouse she gave me when we first started dating rolled to a stop at my feet. Chloe's eyes went wide, as if she'd seen a ghost. She knew how much I used to treasure that mouse. I clean it constantly, keeping it safe under a dust cover like a holy relic. "How could you just throw this mouse in a dirty closet?" I casually kicked it back into the pile of junk. "It's all just trash. If you hadn't shown up, I was about to throw it all out anyway." Chloe's chest heaved. She raised her hand to slap me. "Ethan, are you insane?" I caught her wrist and shoved her back. Leo immediately caught her, his eyes darting around. He stepped forward. "Ethan, you've gone too far this time. Chloe's been worried sick about you all month. She even wanted me to bring the trophy over so you could hold it, to get a taste of being a champion. If you're angry, take it out on me, not her. Here, you can have the championship honor. I don't care." He tried to thrust the trophy into my arms that I didn't take it, but he let go anyway. The crystal trophy hit the floor and shattered. Leo let out a shriek and dropped to his knees, gathering the broken pieces and sobbing. "Ethan, if you don't want me here, I'll leave. Why did you have to break the trophy? That was my dream." Chloe's attention snapped to him. She turned on me, furious. "Ethan, there's a limit to your jealousy. Why do you always have to target Leo? If it weren't for him, who would have cleared your name? Apologize to him now." Even without paying attention, I knew the internet was flooded with posts calling me a coward and comparing me to Leo, the hero who stepped up. And she had the nerve to say he cleared my name. My face went cold. "Stop acting. This isn't a movie set. Grab your stuff and get out, or I'm calling the police." Chloe was shaking with rage. She pulled her wallet out of her pocket, yanked out her ID and a folded document, and threw them at me, her voice cracking. "Ethan, I brought my ID and the marriage license application. I was ready to go to the courthouse with you today. If you're going to keep playing these games, then fine. Let's just call it off." She thought threatening to break up would make me give up the championship. She thought threatening to call off the wedding now would make me apologize and beg for her forgiveness. But I just tossed the papers back at her and laughed. "Thanks for the offer, but no thanks. We're done." After throwing the documents, Chloe had crossed her arms, refusing to even look at me, like a queen looking down on a peasant. It wasn't until the papers landed back in her arms and fluttered to the floor that she snapped her head around, her eyes turning red. The look she gave me was a tangled mess of accusation, hurt, and fury. "Ethan, are you serious?" The old me would have seen her on the verge of tears and immediately rushed to comfort her. But now, she was just a familiar stranger. "Yeah, I am," I said calmly. "To be honest, I wanted to break up with you for a while. Now, please, take your friend and leave my apartment." She stared at my face, searching for any sign that I was joking. When she found nothing but sincerity, panic began to spread across her features, her small face turning pale. "Who am I?" she asked. I didn't even look at her. "My friend told me we dated for 5 years," I said impatiently, "that I dropped out of my finance program for you to become a pro gamer, and that you kicked me off the team for some new hotshot. That's it, Chloe, right? I honestly don't feel anything for you. Let's just break up." Leo, sensing something was really wrong, tugged on Chloe's sleeve and tried to smear me again. "Chloe, is he faking amnesia just to get your attention? He's using this pathetic trick to manipulate you." "Shut up," Chloe snapped, her face a mask of irritation. She stepped forward and pressed her hand to my forehead, then started patting me down as if checking for injuries. I pushed her hand away. "Just because you're a woman doesn't mean you can grope me." She seemed lost, muttering to herself. "Your temperature is normal. Everything seems fine. The serum was only supposed to last a month at most. What's going on?" I rolled my eyes internally and started pushing both of them toward the door. "If you're done, please leave." As I was shoving them out, Chloe kicked the marriage license application lying on the floor. She bent down, picked it up, and grabbed my hand. Her voice was suddenly pleading, almost desperate. "Ethan, let's go get married. Wasn't that always your dream? Maybe if we get married, you'll remember everything." She looked at me with such intense hope. I looked back at her. Then I took out my phone and dialed 911. "Hi, yes. There are strangers in my apartment who broke in and are refusing to leave. What should I do?" Realizing what I was doing, Chloe tried to snatch the phone away from me, her voice shrill. "Ethan, have you lost your mind? You're calling the cops over something this small?" The police were impressively fast. They arrived in 5 minutes and took us down to the station to sort things out. Since Leo wasn't directly involved, he had to leave, shooting me a resentful look over his shoulder. At the station, we sat across from each other. "What is your relationship?" the officer asked. "We're a couple. We're strangers." Our voices rang out at the same time. Chloe shot me a frustrated look before speaking to me in a placating tone. "Ethan, I never agreed to break up with you. How can we be strangers?" She then smiled at the officer. "Officer, he really is my boyfriend. I think he has amnesia and has forgotten our relationship. I only went to his apartment to try and help him remember." I kept a straight face. "Officer, I do not have amnesia." The officer sighed and turned to Chloe. "Ma'am, how did you come to the conclusion that he has amnesia? Is it not possible that he just doesn't want to be with you anymore, and this is his way of breaking up? You can't force these things." His words must have hit a nerve. Chloe shot to her feet. "Impossible. Officer, we've been together for 5 years. We have a wonderful relationship. We were about to get married. He has to have amnesia. Otherwise, he would never change this drastically." An idea seemed to strike her. She grabbed my arm, her expression wild. "Come on, Ethan, we're going to see a doctor. A doctor will help you get better." I yanked my arm away. "Chloe, there's nothing wrong with me." The officer quickly separated us, speaking sternly to Chloe. "Ma'am, whether he is sick or not, you cannot physically restrain him, and you should not be harassing him at his home." The argument finally ended with Chloe backing down. But as we left the station, she stared at me with unnerving intensity. "It's okay, Ethan. You'll remember me one day. I'll do everything I can to help you get your memory back." She was clearly planning to latch onto me. The thought of her showing up at my new job and causing a scene made me frown. "Fine," I said. "I'll go to the doctor with you." If she thought this was because of some drug, then I'd use science to crush her hopes for good. At the hospital, as we went through a series of comprehensive tests, Chloe seemed more anxious than I was. When they drew my blood, she covered my eyes and whispered for me not to be scared, which earned a chuckle from the nurse about what a cute couple we were. I had to admit, before Leo showed up, she really had been this gentle with me. But I was immune to it now. I did my best to avoid any physical contact with her. When we took the results to the doctor, she surreptitiously squeezed my hand for support. Don't be scared, Ethan. Whatever the results are, we'll face it together. I'll pay for the best medicine, whatever it takes to cure you. If I didn't remember her forcing that serum down my throat, I might have actually been fooled into thinking she loved me. As the doctor reviewed the reports, Chloe's phone buzzed. The caller ID read star. She immediately declined the call. It rang again. She declined it again. Maybe it's important, I suggested dryly. You should probably answer it. She gave me an awkward smile and finally picked up. On the other end, Leo was crying. Chloe, my mom's condition has gotten worse. Can you please come over? I'm scared. She took a step, then glanced at me and forced herself to stop. If her condition is worse, call a doctor. Why are you calling me? I'm busy. I'm at the hospital with Ethan. I found it laughable. What kind of show was she putting on for me now? The doctor had finished looking through all the test results, his brow furrowed. Chloe's heart sank. Is it serious? Doctor, does he need to be hospitalized? Money is no object. Please, you have to help him. The doctor looked confused. What are you here for exactly? The patient is perfectly healthy. The old injury on his hand even shows signs of healing. Just keep up the good work. Chloe was stunned. But he has amnesia, she said weakly. He's forgotten me. The doctor shook his head. That's impossible. His brain CT shows no signs of damage whatsoever. He paused, thinking, perhaps you could consult a psychiatrist. If he's only forgotten a specific person or a period of time, it might be that the memory was so traumatic the brain initiated a protective response to make him forget. Chloe's hands clenched into fists, her nails digging so deep into her palms they must have drawn blood. But she looked at me with an expression of pure anguish, as if she were the one in pain. Tears welled in her eyes. Ethan, wait here for me. I'll be right back, she said frantically, then rushed out of the room. Curious, I quietly followed her. I saw her in the hallway, on the phone with someone. Mindy, there's something wrong with that memory serum you gave me. It's been over a month, and Ethan still doesn't remember me. The hospital can't find any traces of it. Does your lab have an antidote or something? On the other end, Chloe's friend, Mindy, sounded shocked. What? You actually gave Ethan that memory serum? Chloe, you idiot, I was joking. There's no such thing as a memory reversal serum. That was just a bottle of Evian water. Chloe froze, the phone still pressed to her ear, looking like she'd been turned to stone. I was stunned, too, but I really had lost all the emotion connected to the last 5 years. So it wasn't a drug. It was my own heart. It had died. When it came to Chloe, it was completely dead. Hello? Chloe, are you there? You didn't really give him something, did you? What did you do? After a long moment, Chloe finally moved. I quickly slipped back into the doctor's office. She returned, her face blank and her mind clearly elsewhere. It wasn't until she saw me that she forced a smile. Ethan, let's go see a psychiatrist. This time I refused flat out. Ms. Davis, whether I have a psychological condition or not is my own business. Please, don't trouble yourself any further. Chloe grew agitated. I looked it up. We just have to recreate things we used to do, and you'll remember everything. I shook my head. Just thinking about that time in my life gives me a headache and makes me nauseous. It couldn't have been a good memory. Let's just forget it. 2 streams of tears suddenly rolled down her cheeks. She tried to wipe them away, but more kept coming. How can we just forget it? Ethan, I promised you. I promised I would help you win so many more championships. The mention of championships made the doctor interject. He absolutely cannot engage in high-intensity gaming. The damage to his hand is already severe. Haven't you noticed how it's constantly shaking? Only then did Chloe seem to notice that my fingers hidden under my sleeve were indeed trembling slightly. Her pupils constricted. When did that start? Why didn't you tell me? I shrugged. It's nothing. As long as I can still sign a check, I'm good. Chloe's face fell. Just as she was about to speak, Leo called again. This time, her expression changed to one of alarm. Get down from the roof. I'm on my way to your house right now. I'll be there in a minute. Before she left, she looked back at me, her face full of guilt. I'm so sorry, Ethan. It's a life-or-death situation. Don't worry. I'll make it up to you. I'll help you get your memory back. I could only laugh to myself. Once the new season started, she'd be too busy to remember I even existed. But I was wrong. She meant what she said. Every single day, she was there, trying some new stunt. One day, she sent me a new Galaxy Print mouse. The next, she invited me to an esports tournament. She constantly had flowers delivered to my office building. My colleagues all started teasing me. Mark pulled me aside, looking serious. "Ethan, don't you dare fall for her tricks. A woman like that isn't worth a second chance. Dude, I'll introduce you to some much better girls." I laughed and had everything she sent returned to sender. Then, she stormed into my office herself. The security guard looked helpless. "Mr. Hayes, she said she was your wife. We couldn't stop her." Chloe stood before me, her face flushed with anger, looking as if she'd been deeply betrayed. She slammed her hands on my desk and stared me down. It had been a while since I'd seen her this angry. I raised an eyebrow. "Ms. Davis, can I help you with something? If not, please leave. I have a lot of work to do." "Why did you sell all your gear?" she blurted out, her voice hoarse, like she'd been crying. "Someone delivered a bunch of used equipment to the training facility today. And guess what I saw? All of your pro gear. All of it. You even sold your gamer ID to someone else." "Ethan, are you crazy? Are you really done with gaming for good? Are you just going to waste away here as a regular office worker? What happened to your dreams? Your ambition?" I scoffed. "Are you kidding me, Ms. Davis? With my hand injury, going back to pro gaming would be suicide. And as for gaming being my life's pursuit, I have no idea why I ever became a pro gamer in the first place. Frankly," I continued, "I find finance far more valuable and far more interesting." Chloe lost control again. She started gasping for air, looking like she couldn't breathe. "5 years. But I failed to get you another championship. You can't retire now, not like this. We made a promise, remember? We were going to win so many championships together." I shook my head and gave her a slight, cruel smile. "I don't care about that. You and Leo, on the other hand, you're quite the esports power couple. I'm sure you two can rack up a few titles." With that, I called security to escort her out. Chloe always had too much pride. I was sure that after being shot down so many times, her anger would finally make her leave me alone. Besides, the new season was about to start. But I underestimated her. Even while she was at the training facility, the gifts kept coming. Mark was stunned. "I think she might actually be serious this time. Even for a rich girl, she's practically throwing her entire net worth at you." I raised an eyebrow at him. "Weren't you going to introduce me to some much better girls? What are you waiting for?" He grinned. True to his word, he introduced me to a girl. She was quiet and sweet, and her face and ears turned bright red after just a few words. "This is my little sister. How's that for being a good friend?" I was speechless, telling him to stop messing around. Life went on peacefully. I had almost managed to forget about Chloe. Then, a video went viral. The stars of the show were none other than Chloe and Leo. In the clip, Leo was sitting on the edge of a rooftop, throwing a full-blown tantrum. "I don't care, Chloe. Ethan broke my trophy. That was our team's honor, and you won't even sue him for it. If you don't sue him, I'm not practicing." Leo had always been spoiled and temperamental. The old Chloe would have gently coaxed him, whispered reassurances, and agreed to anything he wanted. But this time, Chloe's face was etched with impatience. "Leo, do you have any idea that you've played the fewest scrims of anyone this week? Don't think winning one world championship makes you a god. I used to play along with your drama because I was indulging you, trying to reduce your stress. It wasn't an invitation to make ridiculous demands. Get down or don't, I don't care. If you don't want to come down, you can forget about practicing ever again. And you can forget about playing in the next tournament." I had to laugh. So she knew he was faking all along. And yet, she had still taken his side time and time again, putting me down just to placate him. The video caused an uproar. One camp argued that Leo, as a rookie champion, had a bright future and had earned the right to be a little arrogant. Another group agreed with Chloe, saying that no matter how successful you are, you have to keep training. And then there was a third group who somehow managed to drag me into it. They called me a jinx, claiming that wherever I went, things went wrong, and demanded I issue a public apology. It was bizarre. How did everything manage to circle back to me? To my surprise, Chloe was the one who spoke up for me first. She issued a public statement. "Ethan Hayes has no connection to this incident. The trophy breaking was an accident. I hope everyone will leave him out of this and respect his privacy." But when the mob wants to hate someone, they'll turn on anyone who defends them. Suddenly, Chloe and I were partners in crime. People dug up the fact that she had been my coach 5 years ago and started claiming that she had orchestrated my withdrawal from that final as well. The online backlash grew fiercer, and soon people were calling for both of us to be blacklisted. Protesters even showed up outside Mark's company with banners, demanding he fire me. Just as I was trying to figure out how to handle the mess, Chloe asked to meet. At a quiet coffee shop, the first thing she did when she saw me was stand up and bow deeply. "I'm sorry." Then she took my hands, her expression impossibly tender. "It's okay if you don't want to play anymore. It's okay if you never remember me. We can make new memories. We can have a new future." I immediately pulled my hand away. I couldn't believe this was why she'd asked me here. "Ms. Davis," I said coldly, "this online situation is becoming a problem for me. Do you have a plan to deal with it?" Chloe's brow furrowed for a moment. Then she smiled. "These fans only respect one thing: victory. Once I lead the team to a few more championships, they'll have nothing left to say." I nodded. "And if that doesn't work, I'll have no choice but to tell the truth." "The truth?" Chloe's eyes widened. She shot to her feet, knocking over her coffee cup. "Ethan, you remember everything." I was tired of the act. I nodded, a bitter taste in my mouth. "Yeah, I remember everything. I remember you scouting me 5 years ago. I remember us finding rookies together, looking for sponsors, training them. And I remember you making me drink that serum so I would give up my spot in the championship." Chloe's face went white. "No, Ethan, that was just water. It was fake. It didn't do anything to you." I kept going, my voice flat. "I also remember the opening ceremony, when the reporter asked you about me, and you said I dropped out for mental health reasons. Someone heard that and almost beat me up. People mailed me razor blades and funeral wreaths." Chloe looked horrified. Who did that to you?" "I'll sue them." I waved my hand dismissively. "It doesn't matter anymore, Ms. Davis. My point is, we're from two different worlds. Let's just go our separate ways. It would be best if we never saw each other again." As I stood to leave, she grabbed my arm. The next thing I knew, she was on her knees, tears shimmering in her eyes. "Ethan, I was so stupid. Every time I looked at Leo, I saw you from 5 years ago. Young, brilliant, unstoppable. I wished so badly that you had never broken your hand for me. I wished I could have seen you on that stage, winning it all. I wished I wasn't the one holding you back. So I kept protecting him, trying to fix my own regrets, and I hurt you in the process. I'm so sorry, Ethan, but you're the only one I've ever loved." Her humble confession drew stares from everyone else in the coffee shop. She slowly pulled a folded document and her ID from her pocket. "Ever since I came back, I've carried this marriage license application with me every single day, fantasizing about going to the courthouse with you. I keep dreaming about the past. I promised you we'd get married the day you won the championship. Why didn't I keep that promise? I've been living with that regret, and I finally realized how wrong I was. It was a beautiful speech. A shame it came 5 years too late. Every choice she made was the wrong one. The broken road she was on was one she'd paved herself. I forgive you, Chloe," I said, "but I don't love you anymore." Not long after, Chloe's team was back in the headlines. This time, they were national laughingstock. No one could have predicted that the reigning world champions would get knocked out in the first round of the playoffs, losing 5 straight games and nearly failing to qualify for next year's Worlds. Leo's performance, in particular, was a spectacular disaster. People started wondering if the team had been divinely possessed during the championship run. Then, a comment deep in a Reddit thread started gaining traction. "Has anyone else noticed that when Ethan was captain, the team had this unstoppable momentum? Even at Worlds, they looked shaky. A series that should have been a 3-0 sweep got dragged out to a 5th game. This playoff run was even worse. They looked like 5 randoms in a solo queue game. If you eliminate all other possibilities, whatever remains must be the truth. Ethan was the real core of that team. He was probably their strategist, too." The comment was initially met with ridicule. But then, an investigative fan started digging through old match analyses to debunk the theory and found the opposite. They discovered interviews where every rookie on the team mentioned how much they had learned from my guidance. Just as the community was buzzing, Chloe released another statement. "It's true. Ethan was the core of our team and also served as our head strategist. While I was the official coach, my role was mostly scouting. Ethan was the one who trained our new talent. The star players you see today were just average solo queue grinders before he mentored them. Everyone on our team owes him their gratitude. Ethan was supposed to play at the World Championship. It was my own strategic error that led to him being removed from the roster. I sincerely apologize for my actions. She even released clips of me coaching the team, explaining tactics and strategies. She also confirmed that my hand was permanently injured while saving her, and she posted my medical reports to prove it. The internet's reversal was swift and brutal. You guys don't understand how bad this hand injury is. Basically, doctors would advise someone with this kind of damage to not even hold the phone too much. No wonder he was always wearing a brace. He came straight from the hospital to the arena more than once. The man was literally risking his career to play. I heard Leo used his dying mom's wish as an excuse to force Ethan out. His mom was perfectly fine. She was at the arena cheering him on. That is a real, shameless villain. After her role in manipulating the roster was exposed, Chloe was fired by the organization. She was sued for breach of contract, leaving her millions of dollars in debt. Her reputation was ruined, and no other team would touch her. She ended up working odd jobs as a cleaner just to get by. Leo later became a streamer. He had the looks to pull in an audience, but he was greedy, obsessed with recapturing his one moment of glory. He took out massive loans from loan sharks to fund a lavish lifestyle, and eventually died destitute on the streets, unable to pay his debts. Numerous teams tried to hire me as their coach, with some offering salaries in the tens of millions. I turned them all down. With my help, Mark's company went public and became a dominant force in the market. I quickly became a rising star in the world of finance. A bright future was waiting for me, and I was ready to meet it.